So I was watching some Senpai gaming videos, as you do, and I saw this. Alright, Harris, I'll bite.
You hit that one button and this plugin will go back in time, clip that moment for you, reorganize the entire clip into a vertical format exactly the way you want it, save it to your computer, totally ready for you to post. No more editing, no more paying a TikTok editor, just discoverable content ready to post.
Wait, that's big. Like, really big. Only we can have chat trigger this.
You can actually have your mods in chat trigger your backtrack recording instead of you having to push a button just by putting a chat command in, or use a custom Twitch point redemption to trigger backtrack recording.
Wait, why just the mods? Free the clippers! First off, huge shout out to Adam for creating this vertical plugin. This is a massive game changer for how we create content. So if you want to get started with this, what you need to do first is go to Atom.tv and then scroll down a little bit to where it says the Atom virtual plugin. You just click download and it'll give you an installer. And then once you install it, just open up OBS, and your OBS will now look something like this. And you'll notice that on the right here we have a new canvas that shows, the same thing that you're looking at over here, but vertically. Now, whenever you start, this is just going to be black. So what you're going to need to do, I kind of reorganized my OBS to fit this a little better, is you're going to see some vertical seams. I just hit it right here. And you're also going to see some vertical sources. So what you need to do first is you need to set up a vertical scene in the right panel over here. And you do that in the exact same way that you would a regular horizontal scene. And then once you do that, what you can do is we need to set up the vertical settings specifically. So what you do is you come over here and you hit this little cog for vertical settings and it gives you this. Now, you can set your bitrate and your resolution to whatever you want, but the two important things, or just a few important things that you need to consider, is that you need to have, at the very least, this checked. So you want this to be checked, backtrack, runs while streaming and recording, so that whenever you start your stream, it just starts up the ability to take vertical clips at all. Otherwise, you need to do it manually. And I would recommend, as does Harris in the video, and I will leave a video to Harris's video in the description. So huge thank you to Harris as well. So Harris and I recommend that you have 2 minutes for your backtrack length. So just set this to 120 seconds, and you just need to set your folder or your recording path that you want your clips to be saved to. And for the specifics of what we're doing with my implementation of allowing chat to take clips for you is you need to have the save backtrack hotkey set to Alt Shift F1. Now, if for some reason yours comes up as Shift Alt F1, that's okay. It's perfectly alright. It will still work. And if you wanted to have just generalized vertical recording instead of just clips, you can come here and then set your stuff here as well. Now, another optional thing that you can do, which is super neat, is you can actually take vertical and horizontal clips at the same time. And this can be useful for you if you have a situation where you want to have a 360 no-scope montage, but you don't want to have it in just vertical. You want to put this on YouTube so you can have the same clips in both horizontal and vertical. So the way that you set that up is you just go in your regular OBS settings and then come over to output, and then under recording, you'll see where it says enable replay buffer. So you just want to check this. And then you want to set the replay buffer to a maximum replay time of, just like in the vertical section, 120 seconds. So you're saving 2 minutes of the last thing you did in both horizontal and vertical. Now, the trick here is to go into your hotkeys and then go down to where it shows replay buffer and vertical backtrack. So if you did the vertical backtrack before, this one should already be set to Alt-Shift F1. So you also want the replay buffer to be set to Alt-Shift F1, so you can just press the same key and you'll get both clips at the same time. Now, the only caveat with this is if you want to actually take vertical and horizontal clips at the same time, you have to manually hit start replay buffer right here, so it doesn't just automatically start it like the vertical backtrack stuff does, which is a huge convenience thing for the vertical section of this. Now, if all you wanted to do was just take these clips on your own, you could just stop here and be awesome. However, if you want your chat to be able to take clips as well, just like I showed in the intro of this video, there's a little bit more setup. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is install Node.js. So you can just go to nodejs.org, and I'll leave the links for everything that you need here in the description. So with this, you will be just fine if you installed the LTS version or the current version. So just pick one and just go with it. And the next thing you need to do is install Python. And so just go to python.org, and then you hover over the downloads, and then you should get the current version of Python right here. So just download and install that as you would any other program. Next thing you want to do is you want to go to the GitHub repo that I have this functionality set up for, on GitHub. So if you, are a developer yourself, you know how to pull this. However, if you just want to download this and you don't know how to code, what you do is you go to where it says code right here, and then download zip, and this will give you the entire repo and everything you need within it. Now, once you get this downloaded and Node.js and Python installed, what you want to do is you want to unzip that GitHub repo, and you want to first run the install clipbot dependencies. So what this is going to do is it's just going to install the things that Node.js and Python needs in order to run the program that I have. So you're going to get two black boxes that are going to show up and just run some stuff and install things. So if for some reason when they're done, they don't close, it's perfectly okay to close them. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to see in the source folder, it's going to have a config file right here. So I'll just pull it up right here in my code editor. So this is the file that you're going to be looking at. And what you want to do is, if you have a separate Twitch account that you can use as a bot, you can put that username right here. And then you're going to need to go to this link in order to get an authentication code to be able to use as the password. You're not actually using your Twitch bot's password, like what you would use to sign in to Twitch. You're just using something else, a separate code to do this. And the way that you get to that is you go to that address right there, and this is going to be kind of bright, so fair warning. And you just hit this connect thing, and it's going to spit out a code for you. I don't want to hit this right now because it's going to refresh my code, and I want to keep that the same as what it is. So as an example for you, I also left an example config file. This is similar to what my config file looks like. This is not a valid OAuth code. I just, spit one out and then changed the stuff. So if you want to try and get into my bot, you can't. This is not valid. So what you're going to do is you want to have your username be your bot account. And you can also use this as your own account. But if you have a separate account that you want to use as a bot, then you can. And then you want to take that OAuth code, and then you also want to make sure that the OAuth and then the colon is there. Otherwise, this won't work. And then in the channels, you want to have within the parentheses your channel name. So whatever your stream channel name is, and it has to be in all lowercase. And then once you have all of that done and you want to run the bot, what you do is you hit start clip bot, and it's going to open up a black box that's just going to say, hey, you're ready to run the bot and use the clip command. So, and then whenever you just want to be done with it, you just close it. So you can just close it at the end of your stream. And the way that you would go about taking a clip is you would just go to your chat and then type in exclamation point clip. Or ideally, someone in your chat would type in exclamation point clip. And the reason that this is good is because it allows your chat to be a part of the content creation process. So in my mind, if someone clips something, they're saying that they already enjoy this enough to clip it. And so it stands to reason that someone else will enjoy watching this. So it's worth taking the time to maybe trim that down into a 1-minute YouTube short, maybe add a little bit of nice editing, something like that, and then post it on the short form content platforms. And you'll notice that once you press enter on the clip command, it's going to wait 5 seconds. And the reason for this is that you want to allow for some of the stream delay to occur, and it'll also give you a bit of a buffer for whenever you're editing clips so that you can have a way to catch just a few seconds after when someone clips something, so that in case, there's a couple extra words or whatever, they don't just get immediately cut off. And once you do that, you'll get something along the lines of this. Now, a fair warning, before you go off allowing your chat to create a bunch of clips for you, there is a little bit of a bug with this functionality. So what you want to watch out for is if you're recording a video, like what I'm doing right here, you don't want to actually pause the recording with this button, because what this does is it actually desyncs the video and the audio within your vertical clips by sometimes several minutes. And it looks something like this. So, it might be a bit noisy. My mates, they're babysitting at the moment. So in order to prevent that bug from happening, whenever you start a recording, don't pause it. You can start and stop a recording as many times as you want, and it doesn't create that bug. It only does it whenever you're pausing, so just be aware of that. And that might only be a bug within the vertical plugin from Atom. So as Atom continues to improve things, I'm sure that things like that will be a thing of the past. And that's really everything that you need to allow your chat to create clips for you and to allow yourself to create clips. So if you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing and liking and sharing, with any other streamers that, you think would find this useful. However, but before you go, I have a little bit of a bonus for you. If you want to make this a little bit easier for yourself and you have a Stream Deck, you can create a Stream Deck button that will take clips for you. Now, the caveat with this is if you set up a Stream Deck button for this, you're not going to get any kind of feedback for whenever you take a clip. So it's possible to just flood your hard drive because you're not sure if you actually took a clip. So in order to help yourself out, just make a multi-action of this button, and you want the hotkey to be Alt-Shift-F1, just like before. And you want to have a sound to play. And it doesn't have to be very loud, doesn't have to be very long, just any kind of audio feedback that would allow you to know that you created a clip, because I've already created a bunch of clips myself because I wasn't sure if I actually did the thing. And as a final bonus, if you're more into doing things with your voice, you can set up something within VoiceAttack. And VoiceAttack is just something that allows you to set up various things that you can do either with keyboard commands or with your voice. So what you can do is you can set up a action within voice command, and there is a free trial of this if you wanted to do it, so that whenever you say a certain thing, so in my case, if I say this phrase right here, what it'll do is you can set it up to press Alt, Shift, and F1 in order to press the button, and you also want the thing to be holding the button for 0.1 seconds, otherwise it doesn't take it for long enough to actually press the button and take the clip. And then you can have your computer say something in order to let you know that it actually succeeded in doing the thing that you asked it to do. And that, after everything is said and done, is how you can start getting into, and very easily, I might add, doing vertical content. So huge thank you again to Atom for coming up with such an amazing plugin, and huge shout out to Harris for investing in this and making this happen. So if you were looking for a bot that can do some pretty amazing things out of the box, I would highly recommend checking out Atom. However, if you want to build a bot for yourself from scratch and you want to learn some software development skills at the same time, I have a playlist for how to create a Twitch bot from scratch that is slowly expanding over time that you can find in the description down below. But with that said, that is going to be it for me. Again, feel free to like and subscribe. That would help me out a lot. And if you would like to watch more, click the video right above my head. YouTube thinks that you would probably like it, and their recommendation system is pretty good. So, until next time, Jesus loves you. Stay awesome.